A few of you recently have left comments explaining that you're either getting double triggering issues with the SP404 Mark II, or that you've heard rumours that this is the case and you want to kind of find out whether it's true or not. So in today's video, what I want to do is show you the options that are available inside the utilities area of this box. You can make some tweaks to suit the personal style that you play the pads. And also, I'm just going to try and recreate this double triggering problem. I only get it very occasionally when I'm finger drumming. So I'm going to see if I can try and make that worse and then see if there's a workaround for it. So maybe it's the way that you guys are playing the pads, or maybe it's some way that you've got the option set up. Hopefully by the end of this video, I will have diagnosed some of the key problems and why it might be happening, and therefore it will stop you guys from doing it on your own machines. Before I get into this one, it's the 11th of April 2022. Please head over to my Instagram profile. I'm currently doing a competition with Echo World. There's an £100, $100 or €100 cash prize for the winner. You have to purchase a sample pack which has some of my drums in, it's got some chords, and it's got some game sound effects as well. You purchase that pack, make a beat with it, and you could end up winning £100, dollars or euros. So please go and check that out. I will leave a link in the description so you guys can go straight to it. Right, let's get this set up on the table. Let's get the camera above like usual and get into this video. Okie dokes guys, here we are at the SP404 Mark II, back to the classic SPVIDZ camera angle. So first of all, I want to take you through the settings that you can change with the pad. So if I go to Shift and Utility, and then you go across to the second option, which is called Pad Set. So we'll click on that, and using the right hand dial here, which is the green one for me, if you go all the way to the left hand side, you get this tab called Trigger. So inside Trigger, there's a few different options. There's Curve Type, Threshold, Gain, and Trig Span. So I'm going to explain what each of these does. Curve type relates to how the characteristic of the sound changes depending on how hard you hit the pad. So if I just come out of here and get out of fixed velocity, because that's affecting this at the moment, I tend to usually always use fixed velocity, but we can go into pad set now without fixed velocity, and here you can see the diagram properly now. So if we go to curve type, we've got Lin, and Lin is the standard setting, and according to the manual, this produces the most natural balance between playing dynamics and volume change. So what I'm assuming that means is the harder you hit it, the louder it's going to be, the softer you hit it, the softer it's going to be. That's going to have that kind of natural feel to playing a pad and getting the volume that you want out of it. EXP, which I think is exponential, and it says, compared to the Lin, playing strongly produces a greater change in volume. Next we've got Log. Log says, compared to Lin, playing softly produces a greater change in volume. So exponential favours you playing louder, Log seems to favour you playing more softly. And obviously we've got fix here as well. I don't know why you would do that in here. I would just do fixed velocity using Shift and 1. I don't know if that changes the same thing, but if we come out of that and do fixed velocity, that says fix now on the screen at the top. And if we go back into the options, yeah, it just says over the top fixed velocity, so I'm not sure why that's also a separate option in there as well. So moving down to threshold, so I'm just going to read this from the manual. It basically says, this sets the minimum sensitivity of the pads at which the trigger signal is received only when a pad is struck with at least a certain amount of force. So I think basically what this does, and again, sorry, I'm going to have to come out and turn off fixed velocity. Let's get back into there, is it sets the minimum amount of pressure you need to hit the pad in order for it to trigger. So if you're someone that likes playing a lot harder, maybe you'll like this, and then this could be one of the reasons why you're getting double triggering or triggering when you don't want it. If it's set to very sensitive, you could just be near the pad and it sets it off, or something could vibrate near the machine and that could set it off maybe. So if we turn this all the way up to, say, 100, you can see here that I'm not getting any sound out of the pads even though I'm hitting them. If I move that down to 1 and play with the same force, you can hear I am getting a response. So that changes how hard you need to press the pad in order to get a sound out of it, basically. I'm going to keep mine at 1. I'm not having any problems at that setting, so let's keep it at that. Gain. This says the sensitivity is adjusted when the curve as is. I'm not really sure what that means. But then it says the larger the value, the greater the sensitivity is when playing back the pads. So let's have a play around with this. Turn it all the way up to full, which is 100. And I'm going to keep doing this and turn it down to 0. And that genuinely does just seem to make the pad louder or quieter. So I'm hitting it at the same amount of pressure here. And as I turn it up, that seems to be getting louder the more that I turn up gain. So I'm going to put that back down to 0 because that's where I had it originally. Now trig span, this could be one of the reasons why you're getting repeated hits. I think this is probably one of the main reasons why, because this relates exactly to, it says trig span adjusts the sensitivity of the pads to repeated strikes. With lower values, the pads detect repeated strikes with a shorter time interval. And then it says set this to a higher value if you don't want the pad to accidentally detect repeated strikes. So this seems to me like this is the setting that people aren't onto, and this is probably the reason why you're getting those double strikes too much. So if you are having problems with double triggering, I would come into this menu, play around with trig span, and I'm going to set that to 1. And you can actually hear there that I'm managing to create the problem. I'm managing to get those double hit sounds which don't sound nice at all. They're obviously accidental. Can you hear that? You can hear there that I'm managing to do it with the kick as well. I really hope you can hear what's happening there. It's getting a double hit when I don't want it to. So if I come back into trig span, if I turn this all the way up to 10, I'm definitely not getting that problem anymore. So I think this is definitely the setting which is causing people problems, and this is probably where these rumours have started, that the pads always double trigger, etc. It's because of this trigger setting for sure. So here now you can hear that I'm getting really crisp notes. I'm not getting that double trigger in, and if I go back into there one more time and turn this down to 0 or 1, that's the lowest it goes from 1 to 10. If I start playing again now, you can hear, there we go, straight away. I've hit it once and I've managed to create that double hitting noise. So shift utility, pad set, I'm just going to keep that now at 10. And that is definitely going to stop that double triggering issue. So thanks for joining me for this one, guys. I hope this clears up the rumours. I hope this clears up the problem for you guys that have got these machines and are struggling with double triggering. Go into that utility menu, go and have a look at what you've got trig span set to, and adjust it accordingly for your personalised style of playing. I reckon that'll 100% sort the issue out for you, and you won't be getting that double triggering anymore. So thanks very much for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to check out that competition like I mentioned, and also I obviously need your support to keep doing this channel. So if you could head to SPVIDZ.com and check out my drum packs there. I've also got a Teespring store with t-shirts as well that support what I do here. Check out the links in the description below. They're all down there so you can have a look and help support me, and I can keep bringing you out these videos teaching you how to use these devices and making better beats, hopefully. So thanks very much for watching, keep making beats, and I'll be back with more content very soon. Peace!